And good afternoon, everybody. This is Tony Fapiano coming to you from the Guilford Library, and I am with the president of the Guilford Community Fund, Lydia Forgetta Sheffield.
You got it.
What a name.
What a name.
I thought Fapiano was hard.
Yeah, well, my husband always said, don't hyphenate. He wanted me to just be a Sheffield.
And you said?
And I said, no, honey, because when I went to do my workshops, give out workshops, they didn't know who I was, so they weren't signing up.
Ah.
So I needed the Forgetta.
All right, so you outvoted the...
I outvoted the husband.
Okay. All right.
He lost.
My wife does that all the time.
Yeah, well, if you're a good husband, you do that.
I have no choice. If I had a choice. Anyway, we're here to talk about the Guilford Community Fund.
Absolutely.
And tonight you're going to have your annual meeting.
We're having our annual meeting, which is the best of all the years.
Okay, so what do you do tonight? What can we expect?
Well, tonight is going to be a wonderful night because we have 6 volunteers that are getting awards. We have a young man who was 6 years old who contributed his birthday money to the Guilford Community Fund. We have a brand new honorary chair for our coming annual appeal. Frank Itkovich is going to be leaving us, but in his...
I see him. He's hanging around here like he has some sort of responsibility. He's done. He doesn't realize he's a has-been.
Right, and then we're going to have Peter Palumbo come on and take that job. We have a lot of wonderful things, some new board members coming on and some board members going off.
All
So
right.
it's going to be a wonderful evening.
All right, that's all great. That's all well and
And
done.
we're going to give out $133.
That's my next question. How was the year as
$1,000.
far as fundraising?
We did a good job this year. We got a little more than last year, which we're happy about. So,
Which was what? How much?
well, last year it was about 125, and then at the last minute, 15,000 more came in. But this year we had 133,000 going in, so that was good. We were happy.
133. That's a good year.
We were happy.
That's
right.
a good year. I mean, that's a good year because you have a lot of factors that contribute to the challenge of raising money.
Right.
A, the general economy.
Right.
B, the fact that there's a lot of really good groups out there that raise money.
Right.
And you compete with, in a way.
Right, and then we have, with the Guilford Foundation, but we do have that part that the Beatty set up for us, that we have, Lee, the Beatty set up for us, that fund, so we get $1,500 from the Guilford Foundation every year.
That's a good deal.
Lee set up for us.
And that's
It's
another
Lee's.
good group, and they do a lot
Yes,
of fundraising.
and they do a lot.
Yeah.
So we have good things that come in.
Okay, now you've been president for quite a while now.
Yes, and we had to change the bylaws.
You were about 18 or 19, I think, when you
I
first
started.
Yeah.
So Sean and I are going to serve one more year because we're going to be like the monk. 10 is the perfect number. So we're going to do one more year and train.
You were always a 10, Lydia.
Thank you. And then we're going to get 2 new people and shape them so they can take over in June of next year.
And do you have people in mind to do that?
Yes, we do. We're going to nominate them in August and get them going and start to hand over.
Do they
the
know they're going to be
baton.
nominated?
I don't know if they know that yet.
Okay, is this public information? Can you tell us who it is, or is that a
No,
secret right now?
We have to vote on it.
Oh,
So
you got to
we're
vote
gonna
on it,
wait.
okay.
But
You're the president. You
look
can do whatever
on-
you want.
You can look on our webpage.
Look what Donald Trump does. Come on.
Look, I know.
Well, now, no politics on the community. That could cost you money, you know. Some people love the guy. You can't take sides as the president of the Guilford Community Fund.
Yes, well, we have to stay neutral from politics.
Okay, but you are the president, so you do have a lot of authority.
A little.
Yeah.
We have a democracy. We work together in a democratic
And you
group.
have a huge board.
Yes, we are. We're 18 strong.
I
which
don't know how
is
you get
great.
anything done with that many people.
We're great. Well, they're good. We contribute. We give ideas. We share. We collaborate. It's wonderful. It's a good group.
Okay. And last year when you were standing here, you actually were gainfully employed.
Yes, I'm retired.
And you no longer are.
No, I'm retired.
What happened?
I'm retired now.
You are.
Yes.
From what? What did you do?
I was a director of an early childhood center at Our Lady of Mercy School in Madison, and I had been there for 45 years, and I thought it was time, since I started when I was 10, that it was time that I
Yeah.
now retire and get something new and give my last year really full gung-ho to the
10 more
Guilford
years, you're
community.
qualified for Medicare.
Right. So we have a lot of good things coming up. And Sean is a great vice president. I can't tell you, he does a lot. Sean is a terrific guy. And we'd like to push him up to that presidentship, but he
you know-
likes where he is, he says. So
If you have my vote, I would say vote him in.
That's what I say.
He's a good guy.
He's
yeah.
a wonderful guy. He does a whole lot.
All
So
right.
we came on together. We'll go off together.
Okay.
So,
Well, I got a
thank you.
feeling, though, a lot of people on your board over the years, the community fund, because it's such an important group in the town of Guilford. They like to get recycled too. Some people come off and go back on, and
Right.
you have that as well.
Right.
Is that in the future for you?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We don't promise anything.
Yeah, and I could see Sean, hanging around a little bit as well.
Right.
You know what's good
And
about
he's
that
a
is,
little younger than me. He's only 35, so he's a little younger.
Sean, you've had a tough life. All right, listen, we're going to take a break now.
Thank you. Have
We're going to
good
take a
day.
break, and I'd like to speak to your outgoing honorary chair and incoming honorary chair when they're both available.
All right.
And
we have
also-
one here, but not the other. Oh, yes, we do. Isn't that Pete?
Oh, you're both
Pete's
here.
Right. They're both here right now.
You know what? I think I'll do that now.
Yes.
All right.
Pete and Frank.
All right.
Up
So
here.
Sean, take a break. We're going to get Peter in here and Sean. All right. Okay, folks, I am back, and I am with Peter Palumbo, who is the incoming honorary chairperson. And I'm with Frank Ivkovic, who you might remember from last year and everything he's done this year is the outgoing honorary chair. And Frank, you heard me say it's over.
It's all over, yeah. My swan song, right?
All right. So the first question I have from both of you guys actually is, what was it about the community fund that attracted you to want to do this? Because it's a huge responsibility, and you're both very busy in the community and in what you do every day. So what was it about this group that attracted you to it? Peter? Frank?
For me, I think I'll call it organic. It's a group of people that everything they do, the money, every bit of it goes to good groups in the community. I mean, you can't get anything more pure than that. I mean, there's everything's going to the other organizations. So that was the attraction for me.
Yeah, Lydia just mentioned that you raised about $135,000, I think, this year or thereabouts. And it's amazing that they are able to do that without overhead.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Frank, there is one overhead, and that is you have a big mailing a couple of times a year. That costs money.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly, you might ask Lydia where that comes from, but I
I think the
it's-
golf tournament
I
does
think the
that.
golf tournament pays the expenses that's why all the money goes directly to the groups, the raised money.
Yeah, and the other good thing about this, and then both of you guys, because you're involved in a zillion different things in the community. Car wash every week, for one thing. You were with that Chris Harden?
It's DAY, Developmental Assets for Youth. So, and Chris Herron was one of our speakers that kind of started off our Project Purple. So, you see all the purple around town just
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago. So that's
I still see a lot of it out there.
I know. And we're growing every year with it. So
Yeah,
it's
what was
just
the
about
purpose for
awareness.
that? What was that group all about?
Project Purple is something that Chris Herron had started at a high school he visited a bunch of years ago, and he basically brought it into play to help turn the culture around in the high schools, because a lot of kids believe that they're in the minority, like everybody smokes pot or drinks in high school. And Project Purple brought awareness to those kids, which kind of turned it around and made more kids realize, hey, there's not a lot of kids that do this. We're in the majority. So more purple means more kids substance-free.
Yeah,
And it's youth-led. I mean, this is something that our Guilford youth leaders kind of took and ran with. And, obviously I'm schlepping around in my pickup truck and helping put these flags up, but this is youth-led. I mean, it's a very impressive group of kids.
Yeah, and that's a very impressive contribution of your time. We really appreciate that. And Guilford has taken a leadership position in that too. I think there's a lot of other towns that have this, but Guilford is right out there, right out front.
Again, not to get off the community fund, but and in today about it is we are very committed in the community. Right from Joe Mazza, we have community leaders, police department, fire department, public works, parks and rec. I mean, everybody, when we go in and say, hey, we want to do something for DAY or we want to do something for Project Purple, it's just embraced. Just a quick story at probably 2 months ago at the Board of Ed meeting, Mr. Bloss had mentioned, he said, I got to tell you, 6 years ago when you guys came in and said that you were going to change culture, he said, I kind of chuckled to myself. He said, here we are 6 years later. He said, you really are doing it. He said, I'm seeing the difference.
Well, again, a lot of hard work, and
Thank you,
you got the momentum now. You got
Yeah,
to
we
keep it
do.
going. Now
We
you got to
do.
keep it
Thank you.
going.
Thank you.
Frank, in your case, now you've been around Guilford for Forever.
A long, long time. Yeah, I've been at the store for...
You and Henry Whitfield went to school together, right?
Long time, yeah. I've been at the store for 49 years, and I've been in almost every group I think there is.
You were on this board too, I think, right?
No, this is the only one I haven't been on.
Really?
This and the visiting nurses. I was asked to be, but I was on the board of the foundation at the time, so I couldn't do both.
You shouldn't have said that publicly, because I think there's an opening on the board here, and
Somebody's got to check.
the next thing you're going to get is a phone call.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, yeah. But it's a great organization. The things they do are, I mean, it's amazing for the groups that they help them out so much. You know, when Stephen and I were running Stephen Page and I were running the parade, the hardest thing was fundraising. And when Guilford Savings Bank said, "Okay, look, we'll pay the bills," that took such a weight off of us. And I'm sure the same thing is here with all these groups. It's got to help so much.
Yeah, when they start out at ground zero, after they spend all their money, you're going to see the money go out tonight, I guess. A lot of it gets presented tonight. When that's all gone, then they got to start all over again. That's right. A lot of work. And that's where you come in.
Oh, God.
No, the reason that they picked you guys is because you were both visible people in the Guilford community. And, you know, when you want a good job done, you get a busy person. You guys were busy people.
Yeah, that sign's. I've put that sign up on the green many times myself, so I know that's it's over, and we've got to start and ramp back up. And that letter is the big thing. I mean, you know, sending that mailing out to the people in the community is you know, we're a majority.
Have you written your letter yet?
I have a good idea of what I'm going to write. I haven't physically written it yet, though. So.
And Frank, what did you have in your letter? I don't remember. I remember I got one. But
Yeah, I just spoke a little bit about growing up in Guilford and roller skating on the green and how much I love the green. And I look out my window in the shop and watch the thermometer, and I wanted everybody to watch the thermometer rise this year.
Yeah.
And it did. And I was pleasantly surprised that it did a little better than last year. So that was nice. It's,
Right.
you know, because things aren't great yet in this state, economy-wise.
far from it.
Yeah.
I guess they're still fighting with the budget. They're going to. This is the last day, I think, for the legislative session. So we'll find out tomorrow if they did anything. But anyway, Frank, great job.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
And
Peter, good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
You-
Hey, can I
you-
get a copy of the letter?
Oh, yeah.
I'll just sign my name to the bottom of it.
that's called plagiarism. No, you can't do that. You got to have your own ideas. All right, guys. Peter, thanks very much. We're going to hear from you tonight.
Yeah.
Are you going to adjust the group?
Yes.
Are you?
No, I'm all done.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. Thanks, Peter.
Alrighty.
Okay, Sean, you're next. Time. Beautiful. All right, I'm back again. I'm with Sean Kinnear, who is one of the key people for the annual golf tournament, correct?
Correct. Yes. Yep.
And you are the vice president.
Sure. Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Golf tournament. We were talking about how the community fund is able to collect a lot of money and spend a lot of money without anything going out for overhead. How do you do that?
Pretty much by this golf tournament and our Valentine's dance in February. Those two fundraisers pretty much pay our bills. Thereby, that kind of enables all the money that we receive from the community, from the good folks out there that contribute to us during the year. All of that goes right back out to the agencies that we support. So it's the community, it's the businesses that we solicit support from for the golf tournament and for the dance. We get tremendous support from businesses in town, and that's what enables us to then give all the other money back.
Yeah, you don't really have any hard expenses like an office or telephone or anything like that, right? You don't really have those kinds of expenses.
We have very few. We have no payroll. We have no brick and mortar expenses. We've got some mailing and printing expense. We've got some insurance expense. But otherwise, yeah, it's all volunteer work, and we all just put our hard work into it.
Right. And you are a 501c3.
That's correct.
Which is important for folks to know at home, because right now they're frothing at the mouth to have to get their. Where's my checkbook, honey? Go get the checkbook. I can't wait to make a donation to this great group, right?
Good, very
but the
good.
501c, it's a good deal.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. No. We and then we vet and take a look at our agencies that we support. So they're all 501c3s. So it's just everything that passes through us to get to those agencies is also going to a deserving organization.
Okay, talk about the fact that your board members are also liaison
Yes.
between the agency you support and a board member. You have like a mentoring program, don't you?
Yeah. Each one of us does pair up with one of our
I
agencies.
learned something all these years doing these interviews. You know, I'm not the brightest guy. You know what I mean, Frank?
No, we all have a contact with one of our agencies. Letting them know what we're doing, trying to find out what's going on with them, and then once a year we also do meet with each of our agencies and listen to them as they talk about their needs and their what they're doing in their programs throughout the year. So we keep in contact with them. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. And you mentioned that I use the word vetting because it's in the news every day now. You vet them pretty carefully before you approve them as a beneficiary of funds.
That's correct. Yeah, we do have an application process for anybody that wants to join in new to us, and we take a look at them. And then, like I said, every year we do kind of interview them and see how they're holding up. Our treasurer reviews all of their financials. We all could, but we kind of pass that on to our treasurer to review their financials, make sure that's all in order. And we do like to think that we take a little bit of a look at things. Yes.
Yeah, and I brought that up only because if people are considering a donation to the community fund, they want to make sure that where it goes is legitimate.
Correct.
That everybody really is qualified.
That's correct. Yeah, they're all legitimate, reputable agencies in town, all doing something to help residents in Guilford.
Yeah. All right. So how was your 10 years? Is that what it's been? Oh, it's 9 years now.
9 years now. Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, it's been a blast. I've had so much fun working with the community fund. Had so much fun working with the golf tournament. It's always a great day out there too. It's at the last 4 or 5 years. It's at the Madison Country Club. We really enjoy playing golf there. So no, that's been a lot of fun as well.
All right. Again, give us dates, times. That's really what we're supposed to be talking about. When
Golf,
is it?
It's going to be September 26th this year, Madison Country Club.
Great time of the year.
Yeah. Oh, very nice time. Yeah, perfect time. And it's always a fun day out there. But if at this point, we're reaching out to businesses in the community looking for sponsorships. If any business wants to help us out, get a hold of us, and I'll give you those names in a minute. But we're looking for golfers and sponsorships in the community right now, hoping to fill the course, 144 golfers. If we do that, then we're pretty much assured that we're getting all of our expenses paid.
What does it cost for me to participate?
It's $150 per golfer.
Which is actually relatively cheap. Most of the tournaments now are well over 200.
That's correct. That's a good price for what we offer. It's a prestigious course. It is pizza and something to grab, a snack to grab before you go out and golf. It's hot dogs and hamburgers at the turn. It's a steak dinner provided by the marketplace at Guilford Food Center and the Rosa family. A beer and wine on the course as you go. Raffle prizes. All the typical stuff from a tournament. Nice shirts, your typical, a good shirt from Zeus. It's a good tournament. You get a lot for your $150.
Okay, talk a minute about, the title of the tournament is the Bill Rosa Memorial Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that.
Bill Rosa was a member of the Guilford Community Fund years and years ago, and owner of the Guilford Food Center here in town when it was such. And he passed along a sense of community and a sense of involvement and commitment to his family, to his sons and daughters. They remain very active in the golf tournament, as well as the marketplace at the food center. So they're really, really good supporters of the program of the tournament. And it is kind of just recognizing that Bill gave back to the community. He was very active in the community fund for many years. And it's just a nice way to carry on and promote the fact that this man and his family have given back to Guilford for a lifetime.
Yeah, and that family pretty much ran the tournament without any help for a long time.
correct,
And they took the proceeds and turned it over to the community fund, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
All right. Sean, thank you so much. Your program is going to start pretty soon. And again, we're going to be seeing some presentations of some checks, I guess. You're going to start
Absolutely, yeah.
passing out some money. Is that a good thing?
That's a
you
great
guys
thing.
think that's a good thing? That's a good thing. All right. So you're going to be doing that.
Yes.
And you also have some other awards that you're going to be giving out. So
That's correct.
that's great. Sean, thanks for your
Okay,
time. I
thank you,
appreciate
Tony,
it.
very much.
Thank you, Peter.
Sisters, are you here? The rep from Big Brothers Big Sisters? No. Okay, thank you. Everyone, we're going to begin because I'm a believer that if you arrived on time, we should start a little bit on time, right? If you were here. I'm sorry about the name tags, to apologize for that, but I was working on the Guilford Performing Arts Festival, which is going to be October 12th through 15th. It's something new that Guilford's going to be doing. And we had our kickoff this weekend at Mercy by the Sea in the building Seascape, and we had over 75 people come. And I was in charge of that and made over 100 name tags. So what did I forget tonight? Our name tags. So I hope what you did was something that teachers don't like to do too often. They come with a friend, they sit with a friend, and they don't make new friends. But I hope that you've introduced yourself to someone around you, and also look for when we give out the awards tonight, if you don't know who your representative is, you'll meet that person when we give out the awards. So welcome to our 2017 annual meeting. We gather together to celebrate the unending support the people of Guilford give to the Guilford Community Fund. As you will see tonight, the support we receive comes from residents ranging in the age of 6 to 96. Let us give all of you out there that are Guilford residents that are here tonight a round of applause. And when you give the round, you have to go around like this. Ready? Round of applause. Each dollar given, whether it be $5, $10, $25, $100, $500 or more, each dollar makes the grand total to be awarded to our agencies. Let's take another moment to pat each other on the back for the good job you did. So to the friend next to you, give them a little pat on the back and say thanks for all you did. Now I'd like to take a moment to thank the members of the Guilford Community Board. I would like all board members to please stand or come forward. All board members come up here to the front. All board members of the Guilford Community Fund, please come forward to the front here. Right up. Right along here so the camera can get you. We have a little friend visiting us tonight. If you don't know Eli, your friends are going to see you on TV because this is being taped. Let's give them a round of applause. Now don't go away, because tonight I want to thank you for bringing your passion, intellect, insight, experience, and resources to the table, making us one of the best organizations on the shoreline. Thank you for challenging me and your fellow board members. Thank you for teaching me, for counseling me, and for holding me accountable. Thank you for giving your service to our agencies, leading the Guilford Community Fund, and influencing changes that happen in our community. I thank you and I bow to you. God bless you all. Now don't go away yet. Don't go away yet. Come back. Because tonight we have 2 new board members. We are very happy that we're standing strong at 18 board members. This is really good. There was a time when I was on the board when we were like down to 2. But now we're really going strong. So we have 1 member that's going to be going off of our high school group. We have always 2 Guilford High School students that serve on our board. And Alexis will be going off this year, but we'll talk about her later. And she got a replacement, Katie Spinato. Where's Katie? Come on up, Katie, join our group. Katie is a junior at Guilford High, and she's going to be there with James, who's staying on 1 more year. He's going to be a senior next year. So we try to have them rotate so somebody can get the newbie and teach them what to do. So they'll be our 2 high school students. So thank you for serving. And Alexis, again, we'll talk about you later. And we also have our brand new board member, Mike Berube. Where's Mike? Right there. Good, Mike. So this is our wonderful board, and we thank them for all the hard work they do. Thank you, guys. And now I'm going to have one agency tonight speak, and then we're going to have a lot of awards tonight to recognize the volunteer people of Guilford, the people who do a lot for our community behind the scenes that we don't even know, the people who make the agencies run. Because a lot of these agencies that belong to the Guilford Community Fund have a lot of people that work for them that are volunteers. They're not paid. It's the volunteers who help run their agencies. But before that, I'm going to ask Pat Shear from the American Red Cross. She's going to speak to us and call us to action. So come on up, Pat.
Well, thank you very much. It's my honor to be here. I've come to this annual meeting for a little over 5 years, and I am always impressed by what a caring and giving community this is. So thank you for asking me to speak. I'm going to speak tonight briefly about the Red Cross and one of our secret weapons, which is the power of local people. In the 1860s, there was a local businessman in Switzerland named Henri Dunant. And as he was traveling, he came upon the battlefield of Solferino, littered with men, dead, dying, wounded. And he was moved to his core, and he went to the local people and said, "Will you come and help me? Perhaps we can save some lives. We can hold the hands of the dying and bury the dead with dignity." And so they came. About the same time, the United States was in a civil war. Two brothers on their way, two brothers on their way, two brothers on their way, one wore blue and one wore gray. But Clara Barton didn't see the blue, and she didn't see the gray. She only saw the red of the blood, of the wounded, and the dying, and the dead. And where did she go? To the local people and said, "Will you help me? Perhaps we can save some lives. We can hold the hands of the dying, and we can bury the dead with dignity." And so they came. And those are the roots and a secret power, if you will, of the American Red Cross. We respond to about 70,000 disasters a year in the United States, and over 90,000 of them are single-family fires or multifamily fires. There aren't a lot of fires in Guilford because it's a beautiful community and people take very good care of their homes. But the fires exist nonetheless. And as we were looking at this, we realized that more than 60% of the homes we visit when there's a fire do not have working smoke alarms. Makes you wonder. It's such a simple thing. Since we started this national program called our Home Fires Campaign, we've documented over 259 lives that have been saved because the Red Cross installed free smoke alarms in someone's home. They say for every 1,000 alarms we install, a life is saved. We've installed over 10,000 in Connecticut. But I'm here really to talk to you and to ask you, if you could save somebody's life, your neighbor, perhaps somebody you see in church, perhaps somebody who goes to school with your children, would you do that? Especially if it was as simple as making a phone call? We find that the most powerful way to do this is with local people helping us spread the word. The Meals on Wheels group here in Guilford has been a very good partner for the Red Cross, and they have sent these flyers out twice to the people receiving Meals on Wheels. We're going to pass these out to you tonight, and hopefully you'll take them home. This program from the Red Cross has a toll-free 800 number, and somebody has to invite us to come. But we will send 2 volunteers to your home, and they will look at your smoke alarms and explain to you how many smoke alarms you should have, because the law's changed in the last few years, and every room where a child sleeps, every room where a senior sleeps, every room where anybody sleeps needs to have a working smoke alarm. And we find a lot of homes that don't have that. And then they will give you up to 3 brand new smoke alarms with 10-year batteries, and they will install them for free. And while they're doing the installing, they'll sit down with your family and make sure that you have a family fire escape plan. In the last couple of years, there's been some very unfortunate fatalities in Connecticut because as the house went on fire, some of the family went out one door and that way, and somebody else went out the back door that way. And in one case, Dad didn't know the difference and thought the son was still in the house. And he was killed in the fire from smoke inhalation. And there's been a couple of others very sad cases where if there was only a smoke alarm to wake people up, they could have gotten out in time. So this is a very important program. So far, since the beginning of this fiscal year on July 1, we've been invited to 12 homes in Guilford, and we installed 34 brand new smoke alarms. And we helped 12 families make their own personalized family fire escape plan. We really want to do a lot more than that. We need to do a lot more than that. And the best way that we think we can do it is by you taking a rule, what we call the rule of 5. You know, after Henry Dunant saw that mess at the Battle of Solferino, he wrote a book, and the book flamed across Europe. And he picked a committee of 5 local people. And those 5 people, together with Henri Dunant, precipitated the first Geneva Convention. And it changed the world in terms of humanitarian rights. I think 5 people could do that. I think if you could find 5 people that you know in Guilford, that you could say, look, this isn't a hoax, this isn't a scam, they're not going to ask you for money, they're not going to put you on a mailing list, because all of that is true. This is a service that we provide for free. And we have some very large corporate donors that help underwrite the cost of some of these smoke alarms. And we have small groups like the Guilford Community Foundation that gave us a small grant for smoke alarms for Guilford. We want to come and install them, but we can't come if we're not invited. And it's up to you and us and any way we can think of to help get the word out to people. Yes, call the Red Cross. They'll come at your convenience. They'll come with trained volunteers, and they'll work with you to figure out how many smoke alarms you need and where you want us to put them, and we'll install them for free. And when they leave, you'll have a family fire escape plan. So my question to you is the same question that Henri Dunant asked. And it's the same question that Clara Barton asked. And it's a question that I'm asking today. Will you come and help? We can save some lives. We can prevent some injuries. We can make it true that every child in Guilford is sleeping in a room with a working smoke alarm, and that every senior or person with any kind of impairment or disability is sleeping in a room with a working smoke alarm. In fact, every family has a fire escape plan. You can help us make that happen, and that's my call to action. I'm very grateful for the support we've received over the years from the Guilford Community Fund. And I also have to mention a big thank you to all of the Guilford residents that donate blood or work at blood drives. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, I will be here, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Pat. Now, I hope that that number is going to go up on getting those home alarms into your house, because they're very, very important. And now we're going to continue with our meeting. Because of the generosity of the Lee family, we receive each year from the Guilford Foundation a check for $1,500 from the Lee Family Fund. The purpose of this fund is to support the Guilford Community Fund's annual appeal. There are no words to express our gratitude to the Lees and their continued support to the Guilford Community Fund. We also thank Sue Weedy, owner of the Royal Printing, for her continuous support. A sizable donation comes each year from the Weedy family, and we thank you. Another place that we get a wonderful support is from Bishop's Orchard. They're our local farm market, and they continue to support us with a generous check to the Guilford Community Fund. The bishops also have a sin bin, where proceeds from the pick your own customer donations are given away. This year, from the sin bin was raised $2,000. We didn't get all the $2,000. The bishops split the fund with us and GLCT. So we were presented with a $1,002 check. There also is a bishop's family donation of an additional $2,000. So from bishops alone, we received $3,002. The bishops wanted it made known that they wanted the money applied to the following groups: Guilford before and after school program, the VNA, Meals on Wheels, Guilford Center for Children, BH Care, and Shoreline Outdoor Education. So we thank the bishops for their support. We also proudly marched on September 17th in the Citizens' Day Parade, and we were led by our honorary chairperson, Frank Ikovic. Let's take a moment to have Frank come forward. And Frank, because your contact person was the gentleman over here, we're going to have him, Mike Gansey, present you with your award. We can't thank you enough for all you did being our honorary chair. And because of you and your letter, we raised $133,000 this year. So thank you, Frank.
Thank you very much. Well, I'd like to thank you. And you all know this is such a great organization, and I'm going to leave it in good hands with Peter Palumbo, wherever he is. I know he's here somewhere. But there he is.
You took the words right out of our mouth. Our new honorary chair for 2017-2018, and who will be leading us on September 16th in the parade, is Peter Palumbo. So Peter, would you come forward, please? Now, Peter, I made a joke last year because when Frank came on, his predecessor was Stephen Page. So we went from hardware to the spirits. And now I think we're going to the car wash. There you go.
So you just threw me in. That was my segue in.
There you go.
Well, thank you for the honor of being part of your group. Guilford Community Fund was one of the first groups that I joined when I started doing community service. And as I said earlier in my interview with Tony and Frank, was that one thing I loved about the Community Fund was everything that comes in goes out. It's a real simple, not to take anything away from your fundraising, but what I mean by that is there's no fuss, there's no fluff with it. It's all the money comes in, all the money goes out. And it's such a great direct way to help a lot of good agencies in the community. So thank you very much, and I hope I get a framed plaque at the end of my year.
Well, Frank, because you will now be a volunteer, you do get a present tonight, so please come forward. Come on back, Peter. I have to remember I'm not a teacher anymore. I retired in December, and I ought to remember not to be. But anyways, we're going to give you a survival kit to help you be with us, and we're giving that to all our volunteers that are being honored tonight. So I'm going to read this just once as I give it to you. In this little bag, which you should carry with you always and not let go of, there is a Band-Aid, because your efforts to make things better are always with us. There's a lifesaver, because you help change lives. There's an almond joy, because working with you is such a joy. There's a crayon, because of you, you have a bright attitude. There's a mint, because being able to count on you is real cool. And there's a Tootsie Roll, because you are a great role model. And a rubber band, because your flexibility will help make a difference in the town of Guilford. So there you go. Don't lose your bag. God bless.
Thank you.
Now, Peter, your first job, besides the letter, no, you can sit, dear. Good boy. Your first job, Peter, is going to be, so mark your calendar, you're going to be marching with us on Saturday, September 16th, and the parade begins at 10 sharp. Well, that's what they say every year. You know, it's such a big parade. They tell you to be there at 10 because it takes 5 minutes, but then at least you can go till 11. But anyways, you'll be there, our honorary chair, and we'll have you sitting in a nice convertible car. So be ready. If you need something for your hair so it doesn't fly, you can wear a hat. So Peter, that's your first job, besides writing your wonderful letter, which I would begin to pen now because Frank's was awful good. So, all right. This year, Mike Yancey directed our GCTV events. He always does such a great job in leading us in television and also in our golf tournament. Of course, we must thank Tony Fabiano, who is there, for his continued support in interviewing our board members and our honorary chairs each year. It is his familiar face that invites the Guilford residents to tune in and watch the annual meeting on GCTV. Let's give Tony a great big hand for everything he does for us. And also, Mike, a big hand for all those great shows we produced this year. So, watch and look for us on GCTV as we share our events. We usually share information about our Valentine Dance, which will be held this year, February 10th, 2018, at the Knights of Columbus. So look for us as we celebrate some of our agencies and watch for the video loop that will be about your agency. We want to thank board members Fran Weiner and Pat Corandino. Can they come forward? Pat and Fran? These two women were co-chairs for our annual Valentine Dance. Their hard work on planning the dance and their willingness to be interviewed by the man himself, John Cadillac Seville, was a wonderful kickoff for our dance this year. John also donates his time as DJ for the dance each year. Raffle prizes were solicited by all our board members who went out on the town and asked our vendors if they would give us a raffle prize, because this dance is really done out of generosity. We try to do this dance without any cost. We have a donor who donates the Knights of Columbus to us, so we get the hall free. We have our board who goes out and gets all the raffle prizes, so we can give out raffle prizes, and everyone does everything. It's a generous gift. John Seville donates his time as DJ, and he always puts in his calendar a date. And I have to say that I am awed by this. This year, because of the work of Mike Yancey, we have our Valentine Dance booked all the way to 2019. So if you put things on your cell phone, mark these dates down. Saturday, February 10th, 2018, at the Knights of Columbus. And if you're one of those people that need to plan ahead, February 9th, 2019, will be our annual Valentine's Dance. So we are booked, and so is John Seville. Now, because of these two wonderful ladies, they worked very hard this year and tried to think of something new to do with the dance that we could raise a few more dollars. And so, not only did we have the raffle prizes, we had 5 silent auction prizes, which brought in this dance. Remember, it's clear, $3,460, which was great. So thank you, ladies, because the year before, The dance only made $1,435. So give them a hand. Now, of course, at our board meeting, when we were commending them on their job, I don't know how they took it, but they were unanimously voted to do it next year. So they are already on. So don't mind them if they come around and ask you to buy a ticket tonight. There we go. So thank them very much for everything they did. And we thank Mike Gansey for booking, our booking agent, for securing these dates with the Knights, and John ahead. Thank you, guys. Now, at this time, I'm going to invite my other half, Vice President Sean Kinnear, to come and talk with you about the annual golf tournament and also the Will Norton Fund.
Our golf tournament, along with the Valentine's dance, is what we use to pay all of our bills, all of our expenses from running our organization. Because despite the fact that we're all volunteer and we all just put our hard work and our time into it, everything has a few expenses. So the golf tournament to us is a very important fundraiser. This year it's going to be September 26th, 2017, at the Madison Country Club. We're hoping, working hard already to try to get a full house this year. If any of you are golfers, give us a call or contact one of us somehow, some way, because we're gonna want to try to fill the golf course this year. Each of our agencies, in your envelope with your checks, there'll be another piece of paper which you might have otherwise overlook, but this year it's a brochure for the golf tournament. We like to think that our tournament is a good way for you to be seen. If you have a group of people that want to come and play, or if you want to come and volunteer with us, come, wear your shirts, promote yourselves at our event. Works for everybody. But at this time, we are still looking within the community for sponsors. If you're a local business in the community and you want to sponsor a tea sponsor or the lunch sponsor, gold, silver, platinum, whatever name you want, we'll do it. You'll get signage, you'll get representation at the course, you'll be in our promotional brochures and all of our materials, and everybody in town will know that you're supporting us. And then hopefully word gets back that we're supporting the agencies in town like we do. So last year with the golf tournament, we fell a little bit short of our goal of what we wanted to raise. So this year we're working hard and hoping for good weather to improve on that for next year. A couple things we did is we did reduce our price. This golf tournament is going to be the best tournament for the money that you're going to find anywhere if you're involved in these kinds of things or if you pay attention to that. Food on the course, lunch before you go, golf, Madison Country Club, nice course, beautiful course. And then a steak dinner at the end provided by the marketplace at the food center and the Rosa family. This goes back to Bill Rosa and his involvement probably 30 years ago with you, Peter, or even before your time. But Bill Rosa was very active in the Guilford Community Fund, and his family, his sons and daughters have carried on that legacy quite nicely in town. So that's my spiel for the golf tournament. I'm here to also talk about something also related to Peter. I don't know how you weren't on this board again earlier. You're in here everywhere, but a little subsection of the community fund is something called the Will Norton Fund, Opportunities for Youth. And it was started years and years ago. It's a separate little checking account, and it's a fund that we have that's specifically for Guilford youth who maybe has some disadvantages at home and maybe can't get out for a variety of reasons, to do some activities, be in a club, be in a program, take a class, do a camp, something like that, music lessons, what have you. And this part of the community fund is a way to help a kid have access to something. We do it in conjunction with the Office of Guilford Welfare and also Guilford Youth and Family Services. And you can approach myself here, you can approach Tammy DeFrancesco at Guilford Social Services, or you can approach Lynn Landry at Youth and Family Services, just come to any one of us and say, hey, we've got this kid that could use a little help. Unfortunately, this Will Norton Fund has too much money. We received, and I'm being facetious, we received a very nice contribution several years ago from the Guilford, the St. George's Men's Group here in Guilford. And try as we might, we can't give the money away quite fast enough. So again, if you, Tammy, myself, or Lynn, let us know. Okay, we'd like to give this money away. We have supported 3 kids this past year. So we have supported 3 kids with 2 of them were camps and classes through Guilford Rec. Another one was a program at the Soundview Y. So we have put money out to help 3 kids this year, but we're always looking to do more. Aside from that's pretty much what the Will Norton Fund does through the Guilford Community Fund.
We probably should stress to you that we try to take every donation that comes into the community fund and give it out. What makes us different than the Guilford Foundation is, the Guilford Foundation is a place where you get a grant and the money goes out that way. For us, we give the money out. We don't save it. We never have a big balance in our checkbook. So whatever is donated goes back to the community. And that is why the golf tournament and the Valentine's dance is so important for us. Because as all of you know, in agencies, mailing has gone up. We need insurance for our board members, and there are certain things, and we do have one person who is a secretary who works for us at a very minimum, and all the work she does, we're not even paying her enough. But that's what the golf tournament and the Valentine's dance are for, that money. So that whenever someone makes a donation to the Guilford Community Fund from our annual appeal or in any way, their money goes right back to the community because that was the wish of the founders. And we try to honor that as much as we can, and we always do. With a change in our bylaws, Sean and I are going to serve 1 more year as president and vice president of the Guilford Community Fund. I guess we're like Mr. Monk, his favorite number was 10, so we'll have served on the board for 10 years. And we did make a change, but in August, the board will nominate a new president and a new vice president for Sean and I to give the or back over to and show them everything they need to do. What happened, why this happened for us is that we had some board members that did not do like 3 consecutive terms. They might have done 3 years and then for reasons they needed to go off. So what happened is we have a lot of new members on the board. And it does take about 2 to 3 years to get the flow of everything that we do. So we are going to be here for 1 more year and then pass the baton over to 2 new people. As soon as we nominate those 2 new people, we will put that on our webpage for you to see who's coming up to take those seats. We also will need to nominate a secretary because Alexis Weiner, our secretary, who was wonderful, like today, I needed to go back to check some figures. I went back and checked Alexis's minutes. Alexis is an incredible young woman. She's only a senior, graduating this year from Guilford High School. But I think that she's not 18, I think she's 35. And she could run a business. She could be the CEO. She is incredible. She's going to be off to St. Joseph's University, West Hartford, which is my alma mater. And she's going to be going off to there. And she will be going off to St. Joe's University to pursue her dream of becoming a nurse. So I'm going to ask Alexis to please come forward. So, Alexis, of course, we have to give you a volunteer bag because you're going to have to carry that with you because, you know, they're going to be making you do a lot of service hours in college. So we're going to pass that on. Of course, I have to say that she picked the best college ever because that is where I graduated from. So you can see, look at what I became. She's going to be even better. And we also want to give you this to hang in your dorm, to remember that as a volunteer, you are caring, sharing, giving, laughing, working, and that we appreciate all you did for us, and we know that you're going to grow even more and more and more and give even more. So this is for you.
Thank you.
She just asked if we gave a mug. You ought to know, Alexis, I never do the same thing twice.
I said, can I give you a hug?
You can give me a hug, but we also have this gift for you. Alexis is going to be going with the St. George teen group to Rome this summer. So in here is just a little something that she might buy a gift for her mom while she's there. So in here is something for you to buy, a little something for your mom. See, because you got to keep on giving and giving and giving. And God bless. Mark is going to stay on as our treasurer, so we'll have him stand up and take a bow. And we will be electing a new secretary. Mark, want to take a bow? Because you're the one who made all the checks tonight. Now, there might be another reason why some people might not want to be president. The president does receive the mail. Sometimes in the mail you get a letter. I got a letter one day. It was written with black magic marker, and it didn't have very nice things to say. And I thought, oh my goodness, why did that person send that letter? Then came another letter. When I read this letter to the board, we all were in awe and we were crying. And you can see that it was scripted by the lad himself. It says, "My name is Eli, and I am 6. I am donating my birthday money. Love, Eli." And Eli took all his birthday money, and what I loved, because I wrote all his friends that donated, because we had the checks that his friends gave. Eli gave $165 of his own birthday money to the Guilford Community Fund. And he is here tonight. Come on up, Eli. Now, Eli, this goes into that microphone on the camera. So do you want to say any words to your friends about why did you donate to us? What made you think of giving to the Guilford Community Fund?
Because some people are poor and they don't have lots of money.
You're absolutely right. There are people who are poor. And your money helped probably Meals on Wheels, the Guilford Food Bank, probably the Before and After Care Program, probably the Red Cross, probably the VNA. We have 22 agencies that you help. And if I didn't say yours first, please don't. I love all of you. Those are the ones that just popped in my head. But anyways, Eli, we were so appreciative, and the board, when we talked about you that night, and that is why I invited you to this annual meeting, because you know what? Someday, James, come up here. Maybe you will be the Guilford High School representative on our board. Right? Now, come over, we're not done with you yet. What grade are you in anyway? First grade? I taught first grade the first year I was teaching. And then guess what happened? I got demoted to kindergarten. And I spent 45 years in kindergarten. That's why I gave it up in December. I said, they're not promoting me. Now, Eli, we have this for you to put on your dresser. It says, World's best donor, Eli. Your generosity to the Guilford Community Fund has been awesomely accepted. So this is for you, but that's not all. Eli, we've got something for you. Because what we want you to do is you gave to us, and now we're going to give back to you. It's not a lot. It's not as much as you gave us, but it's a little gift for you to go get something for yourself because you were so generous to all of us. Thank you, Eli. Now, kids aren't wonderful. It takes parents. Can Eli's parents just stand up and take a bow because you showed your son what to do. Now, Eli, whether you can believe this or not, the money you gave us went into making that big check. Can you bring the check over for a minute? Eli, because of you and your $165, there's our $133,000 that we're giving away tonight to all these people sitting in here. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Eli. Now, Eli, you deserve a hamburger. I'm going to teach the people how to give you a hamburger. Now, I'm going to go, and I'm going to say, is it done? And you're going to say no. And I'm going to say that twice. And then, on the third one, I'm going to say, is it done? And you're going to say yes. And then I'll tell you the punchline. Are you ready? So this is for you, Eli. Is it done? No. Is it done? No. Is it done? Yes. Well done. And now for a moment that some people have been sitting here waiting, just like Eli. Our first presentation tonight as a volunteer award is to someone from the ABC, and it's going to be presented by Connie Dickinson. She's going to read.
Recently, I had to fill out a survey, an alumni survey, asking how many boards have you sat on in your lifetime? I think they only ask people with gray hair, but nonetheless. I was stunned to try to tally those up, because for many of us, we've done a lot of community service. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is because the board, the ABC, Guilford ABC board, of all the boards that I have ever served on, is the hardest working. And to pick out one volunteer is often very hard. We, like this organization, have no paid people. Everything is a volunteer effort. So we are honoring tonight a woman named Melissa Dayton, who is on an airplane coming back from the West Coast from a business trip and won't land until 11:30 if she's lucky. So I'm going to read this anyway, and we'll pass it on to her. Melissa has been an all-important academic advisor to an ABC scholar, shepherding the scholar through her 4 years at Guilford High School. These academic advisors go to school nights. They stay in contact with the scholar's teachers. They're online looking at grades and assignments that were or were not turned in. They provide guidance about college choices and scholarship opportunities, and basically they are a steadfast supporter through the ups and downs of teenage years. And we know that there are both ups and downs. She also has been our database manager, maintaining and updating our entire mailing list for twice a year newsletters and our annual appeal. And she spearheaded our database transfer to a new system and has helped train a new board member to take over and manage the system. She also has been our twice-a-year newsletter chairperson, overseeing the development and the implementation of 2 newsletters each calendar year, which go out to more than 1,000 people. And she has just recently taken on the chair of student life for our 6 scholars. That's a very critical oversight role. Each of our scholars has both an academic advisor and a student life advisor who stays with them through their 4 years at Guilford High School. The student life advisors get called on for all kinds of, can I have a ride home from soccer practice? I have to stay late to work on a play. Could you take me to get my prom dress hemmed? And the prom is tomorrow. That frequently happens, but all kinds of different things. So this is a huge, time-consuming job that takes a lot of energy and emotional input. And Melissa has done all of this with a big smile, a full-time job. She never says no, and we're delighted to name her our Volunteer of the Year. Thank you.
Next volunteer award is for the V&A, presented by Michelle Ferguson. Michelle?
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. You know, we're at a time right now where healthcare, you know, we're faced with a lot of changes. Some we can predict, some we have no idea. So it's very important for us to have very strong community support and volunteer support because, as I said, it's turbulent times. So knowing that we have friends out in the community is very important to us and to our patients. Sally Esborn has been a volunteer with our agency for about 6 years, and she's one of these volunteers that no matter what time of day you call her, no matter what you ask, she says, how can I help? She has helped tremendously in building our fundraising events, which have become more and more important to our agency as the state and federal government has cut our funding substantially. Sally has been this energizer bunny, this creative force that has helped us through some growing pains as we've expanded our fundraising efforts. And like I said, she's just one of these people that you can call and she says, how can I help? And this has included her running out into her yard to cut greenery to make an event look a little bit nicer because she just said it has to have those little touches to make people feel special when there are guests. This has included attracting sponsors, getting raffle prizes, and all different things, people to participate and to be energized about our cause, our mission, and to donate as generously as they can. She also is a very strong advocate of the services that we provide in the community. She speaks to people when she hears someone that's struggling with an aging parent or someone recently diagnosed with a new condition. I've heard her unsolicited by me or anybody else at our agency. She will offer she will talk about the services that we could provide and make a connection to help people in the community by sending them our way. So it's people like Sally and like many of you in this room that making the connection from people who need help to nonprofits in our community who can help, that is so important. So we really value your energy, your creativity, and we honor you with our Volunteer of the Year award.
stand there for a moment and get your Kodak moment. Go ahead,
Okay,
Shanti.
all right. As long as you're in it with us. Yeah. Oh, here, let's make it look official. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to have a presentation for the Sarah Foundation. Denise?
Good evening. I'm Denise Rose, Executive Director of the Sarah Foundation. I'm so thrilled to be here. All of us at Sarah are so proud of Wendy Danielle Little. She's been chosen by the Sarah Foundation to receive the award for the Guilford Community Fund. This year, Sarah is celebrating 60 years, and Wendy, along with Kristen Evelyn and Erin McCallum, were one of the co-chairs of the Sarah Gala. At the Sarah Gala, Wendy made a beautiful speech, and I used this speech when we sent the application to the Guilford Community Fund. And I thought the best way to tell what a wonderful job and what a wonderful volunteer Wendy is to read her speech. Sarah has given me wings to fly. In 1975, my family moved to Guilford. I was in kindergarten, and Sarah quickly became an important part of my life. Throughout the years, my mom and dad were active on the Sarah board, and my two sisters were Sarah volunteers. After I graduated from high school, I learned to drive. I started to work at the Sarah office in Brantford. Sarah also helped me gain work experience at Wendy's, Friendly's, McDonald's, and the Big Y. All of these jobs gave me different skills, and I currently hold jobs at the Marketplace and the Dollar Tree in Guilford. These jobs make me feel important and part of the community, and I especially like talking to the customers who brighten up my day. Sarah also helped me become an athlete. Well, I was 8 years old and I was introduced to Special Olympics through Sarah. I represented Connecticut in the 1991 International Basketball and 1995 Volleyball World Games. I was one of the 7 athletes chosen by Eunice Kennedy Shriver to be on the first set of posters for the International Games. I served as a member of the 1995 World Games Board of Directors, and I traveled locally, in-state and out-of-state, speaking on behalf of the World Games. All of these hours of preparation and dedication have given me skills and confidence to be independent. This year, I was a co-chair for the Sarah Gala, and I enjoyed every minute of helping to plan the 60th. I am a Texas tuner, a worker, an athlete, and an active member of the community. I have pride, and I keep my head up high. And this speech was written by Wendy Danielle Little, and tonight we are so proud to have her be our volunteer of the year.
I am honored to be selected by receiving a volunteer award from the Guilford Community Fund. I know that the Guilford Community Fund has made me many different donations to Sarah to help our recreation programs, and for that I am very grateful. I am enjoying many Sarah recreations programs, including dances, Texas tuners, sports, and clubs. All of us at Sarah are so grateful to your generosity. Thank you.
Next up, we have Charlie's Closet. Susan?
Hi, I'm Susan Egan. I'm the director of Charlie's Closet. And as you may know, Charlie's Closet is a program that accepts donations of used medical equipment and then provides anyone who needs it for the price of $1. Sometimes I always ask for $1 bazillion. It gets a laugh, and sometimes I get $2. At Charlie's Closet, we say that we would love to have your donations of clean and gently used equipment. But you can imagine that people's opinion of what constitutes clean and what constitutes gently used varies immensely. And that's where Dominic DiNapoli comes in. Dominic is Mr. Fix-It. He is amazing. Adjusting brakes, tightening bolts, replacing missing screws, missing handbars. These things are all in a day's work for him. And to Dominic, these tasks may seem like little inconsequential things, but they mean the world to the Charlie's Closet clients. In the past 5 years, Dominic has volunteered with Charlie's Closet, and he has probably fixed over 2,500 pieces of equipment. Without the repairs, the equipment would simply not be available and end up on our scrap heap. The look on the face of clients when they see their new rollator, which is a walker with seat and brakes, is priceless. And without Dominic, we probably wouldn't have half of the wheelchairs and rollators available to the clients. An endearing trait of Dominic is that he cannot throw anything away. "Don't throw that away. We might need that someday," is his favorite phrase, and which he says with his wonderful New York accent, and it's always accompanied with the wag of the finger. Does anybody remember the series in the 70s and 80s, MacGyver? Which was that guy who was always in some sort of jam, and he'd be in a jail cell, and he'd pick up some dust and a piece of string, and he'd get himself out of jail. Well, that's what Dominic is. He is our MacGyver of the closet. You know, he makes silk purses out of sow's ears. He's very tenacious about using parts that he has salvaged to fix many things, and he is a real champion of reduce, recycle, and reuse. He exemplifies the important qualities of a great volunteer. He's hardworking, resourceful, and extremely dependable. When his wife was recently hospitalized, he would stop by the barn before he went to see her, just to get a few things done. And you got to remember, he works in an unheated barn, which gets very hot in the summertime and extremely cold in the wintertime. And when the weather gets too cold in the winter, he'll simply take the stuff home and work at it at his own house, where he says he has better tools than we have. Most importantly, he is a ray of sunshine, bringing smiles to the faces of everyone he talks to. Charlie's Closet is a more productive and responsive program because of the time that Dominic DiNapoli so willingly volunteers, and we are so very proud to nominate him for Guilford Community Fund's Volunteer of the Year Award.
Thank you.
Next up is literacy volunteers, and probably the newest volunteer out of all of us here, right, Mark? Or in your position? Yeah. Yes, okay. You're up.
Read your little thing first. And read that first.
Okay. I'm sorry, I wasn't sure exactly why I was up here. And I also want to thank Pat, because I was afraid I was going to have to sing until she did. So I'm grateful that she relieved the pressure. Anyway, I've been the executive director of Literacy Volunteers Valley Shore since March 1st, so I guess that qualifies me as a newbie. And this position, this opportunity, is one in which I get to learn lessons in humility every day. So I feel like I've learned at least a half a dozen of them here tonight. At our holiday social last December, I happened to meet a gentleman named Mike Newborg. And I just thought we were having a conversation. I wasn't even sure who Mike was. I wasn't even the executive director then. And Mike told me that he was a tutor at Literacy Volunteers. So that enabled me to discern, because I'm so incredibly sharp, that Mike was helping an adult student with English, probably English as a second language. Then he went on to tell me that he is also tutoring this gentleman, and forgive me if I get this wrong, the gentleman has autism. He's also tutoring this gentleman in math. So my first thought was, and I didn't say this to Mike, well, you don't have to do that, you know. But I didn't say it because, given the way that Mike was explaining this to me, he said it so matter-of-factly and without any pretentiousness whatsoever, I was pretty sure he already knew that, so I didn't bother to tell him. So when I was invited by Lydia to be here this evening and to suggest someone for a volunteer award, I immediately thought of Mike. And then I had the opportunity to talk to him again. And he told me that in addition to everything else, and I don't believe Mike had the vaguest idea that he was actually talking to someone who had managed to flunk first-year algebra. But he told me that his student loves long division. And after I picked myself up off the floor, he told me that this young man also loves fractions. And I just didn't even know what to make of that. And now he's also teaching this young man word processing. So I was asked to submit something on Mike's behalf, and I've been asked to read this, and it's not long. Literacy Volunteers Valley Shore nominates Michael Newborg for the Volunteer Award. Mike is a longtime tutor who began his work with us after a long working career at the Yukon Health Center, Bayer Pharmaceuticals, and Pfizer. He resides in Old Saybrook. We nominate Mike because he's been working with one student, a young man who suffers from autism, for a number of years. In addition to teaching his student English literacy, Mike tutors him in math because the young man loves long division and fractions, and I had to put a parenthetical remark here. Can you believe there are people like that? He's also teaching computer skills, particularly word processing. Mike knows he doesn't have to do any of that, but he does it anyway. In our humble estimation, that qualifies him for a volunteer award in this or any other year. So, Mike, would you please?
The last of the Volunteer of the Year awards is from the Cove. Mary.
Hello, I'm Mary Anderson, the Executive Director of the Cove Center for Grieving Children. Before I speak about our honoree, I'd like to give Lydia a present. This is handmade by our chairman of our board, and it's a handmade star, and it represents all of the children that go to Camp Aaron. Each child that goes to camp receives one of those, and we thank you for celebrating the stars in our universe, our volunteers and our children.
Thank you, Mary. I always wanted to be a star.
You're a star in my book. Our volunteer that we are honoring tonight is a newbie to our organization, Heidi. She took on the role of a volunteer and has brought such energy and caring to that role. She began volunteering last year and helped to bring coworkers to help set up Camp Aaron, Connecticut, and later to organize and pack up items for storage after camp. She again did that this year. And if I'm a little bit breathy, we just completed Camp Aaron this past weekend, and it is exhausting and very trying. We served 125 children, our largest camp ever, and Heidi brought her gang from Zurich who helped to pack up and get us going. So she's invaluable with her resources. She took on the role of our gala co-chair, and along with her boss, Scott Beeman, raised over $900 for our gala, and through a GoFundMe page, which was new for us, and also over $10,000 for Cove programming statewide. She worked with the gala committee to create a lovely evening to remember. She also attended our winter training to become a volunteer facilitator, and she will be volunteering at one of our family sites, and she volunteered this year as a big buddy at Camp Aaron. So she got absolutely no rest this past weekend and spent the whole weekend walking with children who have experienced extreme grief and trauma. So why we nominate Heidi is she's a newbie with energy and spark and life, and she's a real gift to our organization, and we thank you so much.
Congratulations. Is that your little guy? Yes. Come on up here, little guy. Take a picture with Mommy. Is that your handsome husband? Come on up, handsome husband. Take a picture.
Here, do you want to hold that for Mommy?
Now, a few minutes ago, I said the last of the volunteer awards, which wasn't exactly true. The last volunteer we're going to recognize is also one of our board members who's going to be leaving us leaving us officially after today. He said he's going to stick around for a little bit, but we're going to recognize Michael Gansey. I first met Mike at one of our board meetings 9 years ago, and I'm glad I did. He's been in town a while. I had been in town a while. Never crossed paths until we got together on this board, and for me, it's been really nice. Mike has been, along with Lydia and the other long timers that are still here. He's been a big part of the Guilford Community Fund for his entire 9 years here. And I got a sneaky feeling that he's going to be involved still from time to time. Maybe even try to get him back in a few years. But might be hard to do because Mike's committed to a lot of different things. I can tell you that he's on a number of different other boards all at the same time. He's with Rotary, he's with the Masons, he's very active with his yacht club. He's got a lot of things that he does in addition to the Guilford Community Fund. A couple things I gotta say about Mike is that Mike really cares. If he likes your agency, I can tell you he advocates for you in our meetings and our groups. He cares very much, and he really wants to support the groups as much as he possibly can. And I can tell you that just from within our meetings. He cares about helping people, and he cares about the community and helping our agencies, and his other agencies as well. Another thing about Mike is that Mike is very careful. He wants to be thorough. He wants to be proper. He wants to be correct. He tries very hard with us to keep us on the right path. It's appreciated that he wants it to be done right, and he wants it to be done proper. And that's to me, that's something that we can overlook sometimes, or everybody overlooks sometimes while you're trying to get things done. But he keeps us on the straight and narrow. Another thing about Mike is that he's definitely committed. If you see us out at events, if you see us here tonight, you know, okay, people volunteer to do things we set up, we got to clean up the whole bit. There's a lot of the things that you see. If you go to the golf tournament, you see Mike doing that. If you go to the dance, he's doing something for the dance. If you're a business in town, Mike has knocked on your door and saying, hey, can we get a raffle prize? Can we get some kind of support? Can you be a tea sponsor for the golf tournament? You see all that kind of stuff. What you don't see is that if Tony's doing a taping with us and you see us on GCTV for an hour, what you don't see is that Mike was there an hour before us setting up, and that Mike came in to GCTV 2 hours later to do the editing and to have the names scroll across the bottom. So, well, we're all back at home thinking, right, yeah, Mike's doing it, yeah. So while I'm home waiting to see when I come on TV again, it was Mike spending 3 hours there doing the editing, and that's one of the things you don't see. You don't see him running all over town putting out flyers and things like that. So to me, with Mike, it's about the commitment to other things that people aren't going to recognize or aren't going to see, but it is really something that you should know about him. And finally, to kind of sum it up, thank you, Mike, for everything you've done on the Guilford Community Fund. And, Michael Gansey, businessman in town, et cetera, et cetera. To me, I like to think that somehow in our last 9 years, I've earned the right to call you Mikey. So, Mikey, thank you. Thank you for everything you have done for the Guilford Community Fund, and we'll see you around town.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Lydia, the members of the board. A little over 9 years ago, it was Tony Fapiano, who was in the Rotary Club, and said, hey, I think you'd be interested in doing something more for the community. And he gave me the opportunity to go and interview for a spot on the board of the Guilford Community Fund. And it's been a really enjoyable journey. I met a lot of people. We've done a lot of good things for a lot of folks. But the key is the words, the Guilford Community Fund. All three words mean exactly the right thing. Guilford, it's about our town. The community, it's about us. We're the community. The fund, it's about raising funds for our 22 charities that seem to grow and shrink depending upon the year. But it's really who we are, the Guilford Community Fund. My heart is with the Guilford Community Fund. I finished my 9 years of a commitment for this time. I am interested in continuing doing things with the Community Fund. The first thing is I'm going to pull out my little thing for the golf tournament coming up. I put a brochure for the golf tournament coming up in September so that everybody who is here has one. And hopefully, if you don't play golf, you'll hand it to somebody who does. If you're not a person that can sponsor, you'll hand it to somebody who could. As we were talking about before, the Guilford Community Fund tries to have 100% of the money that comes in go out. We're not quite 100%, we're pretty close. We do have some expenses to do postage and whatnot, and the two fundraisers we have to do that is the Valentine's Day dinner dance and the golf tournament. And the more we are able to bring with that, the more the charity donations will go right out to the groups. So help us with the community to make it a success. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And I'm still right down the road.
Now, what Mike doesn't know is when you get your checks tonight, in your envelope is another flyer about the Guilford, about the golf tournament. Mike is going to be staying on to head that for us, and we are very, very, very grateful. There is only one more award, and then it's the moment of the night that all of you have been waiting for, your lovely checks. I would like to just say one thing. 9 years ago, when I joined the Guilford Community Fund, and I was at my first annual meeting, it was the board. It was the board that was here. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's an annual meeting, and only the board is here. So, being a newbie, the first year I kept very quiet. You wouldn't believe that, but I did. I kept very quiet and I watched. And the second year we came to the annual meeting, and it was the board and a few speakers. But it was only about 20 people. So at the third year on the Guilford Community Fund, I said to Chris Fabiano, who was a wonderful president of the Guilford Community Fund, I said, Chris, I have an idea. Let's give them one check. And to get their check, they have to be at the annual meeting. And from that day on, look what we have, all of you. So I'm glad you're here tonight. And before we give you your checks, there is one other person that we can't forget. She does get forgotten because everybody doesn't realize she's part of the Guilford Community Fund. We do have a secretary. She is the only one that is paid minimally. And when I say minimally, I mean minimally. And I think she scoots on the hours that she tells us she does for us. But she is the one who goes to the mailbox faithfully, pulls out all the contributions, takes them all, puts them all together so that our treasurer only has to look at the deposit slip, which is very nice. He does have to give us a report, but the one doing most of taking the checks and depositing them is this person. She never complains, she never asks for anything, and she is forgotten. But I do know that she's secretary at Calvin Leet School, and so I want everyone at Calvin Leet to know that she has another life, and the other life is helping us at the Guilford Community Fund. So I'm asking Barbara Caitlin to please come up here now. Come up, Barbara. And I love her lovely daughter, after she takes a picture. Her daughter is now the head of the before and after school program, so I'd like her to come up here. Because she gave her, I don't know what reason she told you she had to be at the meeting tonight. But anyways, we want you to put this in your little place. See, it goes with the school. Don't you think this is going to fit perfectly at your desk place every time I come to pick up the envelopes? And we want you to know that you are caring, sharing, giving, laughing, and always working. And we appreciate all you do for us over and over and over and over again. And thank you for not asking for a raise. And Mark, she was so good. She brought us our envelopes. So I have an envelope for you. I think she thought that's why she had to be here, was to give the envelope. Now what I'm going to do to make this easy is I'm going to call the agency. I'm going to ask Sean and the person who represents on the board, who represents that agency, to be right over here. And you're going to come forward and get your check for the evening. Guilford, a better chance. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of Guilford Community Fund into action. With the town of Guilford and Guilford High School as partners, ABC's commitment helps scholars become strong contributors to our society. Thank you for touching our lives. Guilford, a better chance. I guess Connie Dickerson had to leave. We should also think of Barbara Pine. I don't know if everyone knows, but Barbara Pine has not been well, so let's keep her in our prayer. The American Red Cross. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. As a humanitarian organization led by volunteers, you provide relief to victims of disasters and help prevent, prepare, and respond to emergencies. Thank you for touching the lives of others in our community. Now what will help is if when I call you, come right up, and then the photo can go quicker. You can get another sandwich before you go for the road, and we can move along. So when I call your agency, come right up, and board member, come right up. Guilford Before and After School Program. Thank you for demonstrating commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You provide for children of Guilford a variety of activities designed to stimulate growth in all areas of development in a safe, relaxed, and nurturing environment. Thank you for touching the lives of the children of our community. BH Care, Domestic Violence. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You provide a 24-hour hotline emergency shelter with children's services, transitional housing, advocacy for criminal and court and civil court cases, information and referral, individual counseling and support groups for victims of domestic violence. Thank you for touching the lives of families of our community. BH Care Behavioral Health. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You provide comprehensive community-based behavioral health services for adults with serious and persistent mental illness and/or substance abuse. Thank you for touching the lives of others in our community. Big brothers, big sisters of Southwestern Connecticut, thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You provide youths with an opportunity to further their growth and development through a unique one-to-one friendship with a screened, trained, caring adult volunteer mentor. Thank you for touching the lives of others in our community. Mr. They didn't come, huh? Guilford Bears Clinic. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You offer a wide range of outpatient mental health services to meet differing needs of children and families. Thank you for touching the lives of children and families in our community. The Cove Center for Grieving Children. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You provide a safe place for grieving children ages 4 to 18 due to death of a significant person in their lives. Parent caregivers receive education on how to support their child's grieving process. Thank you for touching the lives of children and families in our community. Friendly Visiting and the Guilford Food Bank. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You provide 1 hour of caring, quality friendship each week to any Guilford resident feeling isolated and lonely. The food bank offers bags of food to Guilford families in need. Thank you for touching the lives of families in our community. Guilford Meals on Wheels. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You deliver a hot, nutritious midday meal to any Guilford resident having significant difficulty preparing well-balanced meals. Thank you for touching the lives of others in our community. Charlie's Closet. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You offer medical equipment clearinghouse that accepts donations of gently used equipment and then distributes the equipment for $1 a piece. Thank you for touching the lives of others in our community. Guilford Center for Children. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You provide developmentally appropriate year-round education for children 3 to 5. Thank you for touching the lives of others. This is my Guilford Youth Mentoring. demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You offer mentoring to 166 children by providing mentors for children whose lives are in turmoil or for students for whom school is sometimes a struggle. Thank you for touching the lives of the children of our community. Lifelinks. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You provide peer-driven services and programs to people who are seeking recovery from substance use disorder. Thank you for touching the lives of others in our community. Literacy volunteers. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You teach residents to read, write, and speak English, and to improve life and work skills. Thank you for touching the lives of others. Thank you. Neighbors Works New Horizons. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You develop and offer affordable housing through partnerships at the state and local levels. Thank you for touching the lives of others in our community. Orchard House. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You help aging adults remain independent in the community through therapeutic and social programming and cultural enrichment. Thank you for touching the lives of others. Sarah Foundation. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You provide programs and services for members of our community with intellectual and other disabilities. Thank you for touching the lives of others in our community. Shoreline Outdoor Education. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You provide environmental education for children through exciting, interactive, hands-on programs to forge a connection with the natural world. Thank you for touching the lives of our children. DNA. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You offer a wide range of health and social services delivered at home and in the community to recovering, physically challenged, or chronically ill persons. Thank you for touching the lives of others in our community. And last but not least, women and family life. Thank you for demonstrating a commitment and a spirit that exemplifies the values of the Guilford Community Fund. You are weavers of our community fabric, turning the principles of the Guilford Community Fund into action. You empower women and families to face change, challenge, crisis, and transition in their lives with grace and dignity. You provide guided referrals and connections to community resources, emotional support programs. Thank you for touching the lives of women and families in our community. And as Roy Rogers and Dale Evans would say, until we meet again next year, thank you for coming. We do have doggy bags in my little bag out there, so anybody that would like to take some cookies for the car, please see Francine Wainer. She'll hand out the little bags, and you can take them home. Thank you all for coming, and God bless you all. Thank you for the star. Thank you. Thank you.
I went last year.
Oh, do?
Yeah.